How many more times will you break promises to yourself? How many more times will you look in the mirror and quietly admit that you're avoiding the life you could be proud to own? You don't need another new plan, you don't need another excuse. What you need is action, even when you're not ready, even when you don't feel like it. Because every moment you delay, you are personally burying the best version of yourself. Don't let that weak version continue to control you. Today, right here, you will learn how to hack your mind to force yourself to become more disciplined, stronger, and to never back down again. If you're looking for real change, don't take your eyes off this video. Hit subscribe and stay until the end, because what you're about to hear might just be the turning point you've always been waiting for. We often think that discipline is something reserved only for people with extraordinary willpower, elite athletes, successful entrepreneurs, or those born with superior endurance. But that's not the truth. Discipline isn't a natural gift. It's a skill, and like any other skill, you can learn it, practice it, and build it day by day. And that day is today. You don't need to start with a perfect routine. You don't need to wake up at 4 a.m. and run 10 kilometers like those viral videos on social media. You just need to start with a small victory. A win that is enough for you to prove to yourself that you are someone you can trust. Because the biggest problem is not that you haven't succeeded yet, it's that you've broken promises to yourself so many times that you no longer trust yourself. And here's the hard truth you need to hear, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. You cannot build self-confidence if you constantly break promises to yourself. Every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," but then procrastinate, you're sending yourself a message. Your words don't matter, your commitments carry no weight. Little by little, you erode your own self-trust, until you no longer believe you can truly change. That's why today we will reset together. No need for overwhelming, massive goals. Just start with small, solid steps. But start right now. Discipline is not ruthless self-punishment. It is the act of loving yourself in a mature way. When you truly care about yourself, you won't let yourself be trapped in habits that are quietly destroying you. You will no longer see skipping a workout or sleeping in as a reward for yourself. Instead, you will realize that the true reward is the pride you feel when you do what you promised yourself you would do. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." You don't need more reasons. You don't need more inspiration. You don't need to wait for the next motivational book or viral video to stand up and take action. All you need is one decision. You will no longer negotiate with your weaker self. And yes, you will fail. You will stumble. There will be days when you won't want to get out of bed, days when you'll look for excuses to run away again. But the difference now is, you will not let those failures define you. You will learn to come back faster. Because you understand that discipline is not perfection. Discipline is the ability to return to your commitment, again and again, until it becomes an inseparable part of who you are. To build that, you need two things: to identify your enemy and to create a system that works for you. Your enemy is not laziness. It's the small compromises you allow yourself each day. It's when you say, "Just 5 more minutes," and end up losing 2 precious hours. It's when you allow yourself tiny slips, only to slide further than ever. And your system: don't copy someone else's perfect lifestyle. Build a realistic path that fits where you are starting from. Maybe you can't work out for an hour every day. Then start with 5 minutes. Maybe you're not ready to completely cut out junk food. Then start with just one healthy choice per day. Because small progress, when repeated, will always beat perfect plans that never begin. When you start winning those small battles, you'll see something magical happen. You'll start trusting yourself again. You'll feel a sense of control. And from there, you're not just building discipline, you're building freedom. Freedom from temporary temptations, freedom from destructive habits, and freedom to become the best version of yourself, the one you know you are capable of becoming. We've all heard the phrase, "Tomorrow will be better," a seemingly harmless saying, but in reality, it's one of the most dangerous traps your mind quietly sets for you. It's not encouragement. It's a ticket that allows you to delay, a way you grant yourself another day of doing nothing and accepting stagnation. The funny thing is, we believe in a brighter tomorrow as if it will magically arrive, bringing us more motivation, more strength, more willpower. But the truth is, tomorrow brings nothing. Tomorrow is just another copy of today, unless you act differently. That's why disciplined people don't wait for positive feelings to start. They don't live in the hope that tomorrow will somehow be easier. They understand that real power lies in doing even when you don't feel like it, in acting even when everything inside you wants to delay. And the difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is not talent, nor opportunity. It's that the successful ones know how to kill the phrase, tomorrow will be better, before it has the chance to take root. Have you ever wondered why some people can maintain discipline over the long term while others can't? Psychologist B.J. Fogg explained in his research that human behavior is driven not just by motivation but also by how easy it is to act. This means that if you want to sustain discipline, you need to remove as many barriers as possible between you and the action you want to take. But most of us do the opposite. We create subtle obstacles, like leaving workout equipment in another room, working in a cluttered space, or keeping addictive apps right at our fingertips, and then wonder why we can't maintain good habits. The truth is, you're not lacking discipline. You're lacking a system that supports yourself. Marcus Aurelius never said, "I'll write when I feel inspired." He said, "You wake up to do the work of a human being." That's a proactive choice, a commitment, not something that waits for feelings. And to do that, you need to learn to restructure your environment so that doing good habits becomes as easy as possible, and giving in to temptations and procrastination becomes as difficult as possible. For example, if you want to wake up early to exercise, don't leave the alarm clock right by your bed. Place it somewhere that forces you to get out of bed to turn it off. If you want to cut down on social media scrolling, don't rely solely on willpower. Delete the app or switch your phone to grayscale to reduce visual temptation. Make temptations harder to reach, and make the actions you want to take so simple that there's virtually no excuse not to do them. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman also emphasizes that the way you start your day powerfully impacts your discipline. If you begin with procrastination, you're programming your brain for a loop of failure throughout the day. But if you start with a small victory, like getting up as soon as your alarm rings, you activate reward-related brain circuits, boosting your motivation to keep following through with disciplined actions. Discipline isn't a destination. It's a repeated choice. A decision you make every day. And each time you choose correctly, you're not just completing a task, you're building self-trust. You're reinforcing the identity of someone who takes action regardless of feelings. Because ultimately, discipline isn't just about results. It's about who you become along the way. And the most important question you need to answer isn't, do I have enough motivation? But, do I respect myself enough to keep my promises? You will never feel ready. This is the truth most people don't want to face. We often wait for a feeling, the feeling of wanting to start, the feeling of being confident enough, the feeling of having enough motivation, the feeling that everything is perfectly aligned for us to act. But the reality is, if you keep waiting until you feel ready, you might end up waiting your entire life. Readiness is not a gift the universe hands to you on some beautiful morning. It's something you create by acting first, acting while you're still afraid, acting while you're still unsure, acting even when every part of you wants to delay. One of the biggest misconceptions is thinking that change starts with a feeling. But science has proven that behavior is what drives emotion, not the other way around. When you act as if you are disciplined, courageous, and trustworthy, your brain doesn't know it's pretend. It starts to believe that's who you really are. And through repeated action, you truly become that person. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, put it perfectly, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Every time you choose to act instead of procrastinate, you are casting a vote for the stronger version of yourself. The problem is most people wait for the right feelings before they act. But feelings are the most unreliable thing. One day you wake up full of motivation, the next you just want to stay under the covers. If you only act when you feel like it, your life will always be ruled by those fleeting emotions. But when you understand that you can act even when you don't feel like it, you claim real power. That is the ultimate mind hack. Action first, feelings will follow. You don't need to wait for perfection. No one starts with all the pieces in place. Successful people don't wait to be ready. They start with what they have, from where they are, and they adjust along the way. They don't wait for the confident version of themselves to appear. They act first to build that confidence. So if you're waiting for tomorrow to feel ready, let me be honest with you, that tomorrow will never come. You have to choose to start right now. Start while you're afraid, start while you're imperfect, start even when you're unsure of how well you'll do. Cal Newport, best-selling author of Deep Work, emphasized that deep productivity doesn't rely on inspiration, it relies on training your mind to focus without the need for instant rewards. You won't find lasting motivation if you keep chasing cheap dopamine from social media, phone notifications, or familiar habits of procrastination. You need to reset your brain's reward system. Instead of only reacting to external stimulation, you must learn to find the reward in the act itself. The reward is in doing, in keeping your promises to yourself, in moving closer to the version of you that you want to become. Do you know what truly builds confidence? It's not words of encouragement from others. It's not inspirational books. It's not motivational videos online. True confidence comes from the fact that you have repeatedly taken action even when you didn't feel like it. When you prove to yourself that you can keep promises to yourself, that's when confidence takes deep root within you. You don't need anyone to remind you, you can do it, because you've already shown yourself that you can. And I know you'll ask, but what if I fail? Let me tell you, failure is an inseparable part of action. No one builds discipline without stumbling. No one builds confidence without ever breaking a promise to themselves. But what's the difference between those who move forward and those who stay stuck? The people who move forward don't stop at failure. They don't let one bad day turn into a month of quitting. They come back, they adjust, they keep going. That is the core of true discipline. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for the perfect feeling. Stop waiting for tomorrow. Stop waiting for someone else's permission. Stop waiting for your confident self to appear. The truth is, that confident version of you will never come unless you call it forth with your actions today. Start now. Start right when you feel unready. Because it's in that very moment, the moment you act while feeling unprepared, that you are forging your greatest strength. You don't need to wait to feel ready. The truth is, if you wait until your mind agrees, you will stay stuck forever. The feeling of readiness only comes after action, not before. Most people spend their whole lives holding on to an ideal version of themselves, someone more disciplined, more hardworking, healthier, braver. But they fail to realize that person doesn't just show up one day. That person is built day by day, in the smallest decisions, especially in the moments when no one is watching. If you truly want to become a better version of yourself, you have to start acting like you already are that person, starting today, starting this very minute. Think about it. The person you've always wanted to become, how do they wake up? How do they speak? What would they do on the mornings when all you want is to stay under the covers? How would they choose when standing between comfort and what needs to be done? You already know the answers. And you also know exactly what's holding you back. It's procrastination, cleverly disguised as very reasonable excuses. I'm not ready. I'll do it when I have more time. I need to research more first. But the truth is, you don't lack time, you just lack the commitment to start. Write it down. Seriously. Don't keep it in your head. When you write it, you force yourself to face the truth, and that truth will force you to choose. Keep delaying or start right now. Write, I am a disciplined person. I do this, and this every day whether I feel like it or not. Write it down and read it every morning as if it's the script of your life. Because in reality, it is. It's the script of your transformation. You don't need to do huge things right away. You just need to choose one small action and do it every day as if your life depends on it, because in truth, it does. It could be as simple as making your bed when you wake up, planning your day, or just avoiding your phone for the first 30 minutes after opening your eyes. Small actions, done repeatedly with discipline, will completely change how you see yourself. Because what truly matters is not what you're doing, it's the fact that you're proving to yourself that you are someone who keeps promises to yourself. You are no longer someone who says, I will, but someone who actually does. And you know what? You won't always feel like doing it. Your mind will try everything to keep you in your comfort zone. It will rationalize procrastination. It will convince you that today isn't the right day. But you must learn to hack your own mind. You must force it to move, even if it's just for 2 minutes. Study for 2 minutes. Move for 2 minutes. Write for 2 minutes. Just start. That tiny starting point will shift the direction of your entire day. Don't try to win everything at once. Win the moment. One small win each day. You made your bed, you sat down to work on time, you resisted opening your phone right after waking up. These seemingly trivial things, when repeated, will create a completely different person. And here's the most important part. You don't need to wait for motivation. Motivation comes after action. Act first, motivation will follow. And if you stay consistent, you will start to believe in your new self. A belief that doesn't come from empty words or fleeting moments of inspiration, but from the real evidence you build through the actions you choose each day. You don't need to start perfectly. You just need to start. And you need to persist until disciplined action becomes your identity. That's when you truly change. That's when the version of yourself you've always dreamed of isn't some distant goal. It's you, right now, in every moment you choose to act, whether you feel like it or not.